How y'all doing? I want to tell you a story tonight about the red-tailed drone. Now, y'all know what a drone is. It's a little toy airplane that has the 4 propellers on it, and you have a little control with joysticks on it, and you steer those joysticks around, and that's how the plane flies. And the problem with them is the battery always runs down, and then you can't fly it very long. Well, I got on my computer, and I'm looking for a drone to buy, and I see this experimental drone, and it's got a solar panel right on top of it. So I thought, boy, that'd be a good one to have. So I bought that. It showed up in a couple of days, and so I was flying around in my backyard and had that little control out there, and it's flying around. I'm doing pretty good with it, and I flew around the trees, and I flew over a little creek that's in the backyard, and over the neighbor's dog, and I was doing pretty good with it. But then all of a sudden, out of one of the big trees in my backyard was this red-tailed hawk. And this red-tailed hawk flies down there, and it hits my drone and knocks my drone out of its flight pattern, and it starts tumbling around, and I'm trying to get that drone flying again, and I just can't get it going. And I think it's going to crash, and all of a sudden, this drone starts flying by itself. So now my experimental drone is flying around, and this red-tailed hawk's trying to chase it, and I think sure it's going to knock it out of the air again. And then all of a sudden, that red-tailed hawk gets right beside that drone, and they're flying together like they're friends, like they're in love. So I don't understand that, and they kind of fly off in the distance. Well, my control wasn't doing anything anymore, so I thought I'll just give up on it for the night. So I go in the house, get back on the computer, and I see another drone on the computer. So I go ahead and buy it, and it shows up on the doorstep in a couple of days. And this time, the drone has a little camera on the bottom, so I can see what it's flying over. So when that shows up, I get out there in the backyard, and I'm flying that drone around, and I fly around that tree, and I can see that on my screen there that, what I'm flying around. Fly over the neighbor's dog and kind of tease it a little bit, and fly over the creek. And then I see my experimental drone fly, the one that I'd had the first time. I see it fly out of the tree right in front of me, and it flies down and lands on the ground. And I look up in that tree, and there's this big bird's nest up there. So I take my little drone up there, and I fly up there, and I look in that bird's nest, and what do I see? I see it's the cutest little baby drone you ever seen. The thing is, it had red tail feathers on it. I'm thinking, boy, that is just strange. I can't understand that at all. I can't even explain that. So every day I get out there in the backyard, and I'm flying my little drone around, and I fly up there, and I look in that nest again, and I see that drone, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, after about a week or so, again, I'm out there flying that drone around, and I see this baby red-tailed drone up on the edge of the nest. And it takes off like it's going to fly, and it's trying to fly, and it's kind of circling around, not doing too good, but it doesn't quite hit the ground, and it takes off again, and it starts flying real good. But then next thing you know, I see my experimental drone, and it comes down there, and they're flying together. And then all of a sudden, I see that big red-tailed hawk fly down there again, and then they all start flying together, and they're like a big happy family, and they just fly off in the distance. The red-tailed hawk, the experimental drone, and a baby red-tailed drone, and they're just one happy family as they fly away. Thank you.